Hey everybody, how are you? It's been a long time since my last video talk. I'm very happy honestly to be here. I'm feeling very inspired. I want to try to bring the channel to the next step. I want to try to do more videos about me talking and basically having a better bond with all of you, but also talking about what I'm thinking, what's my plan, what I'm doing when I tour, maybe doing some vlogs, who knows. I have a lot of plans. I have to figure in the perfect way what I want to do. But one thing that for me is very important now to talk is about the practice approach, because so many people were very curious about recent shorts that I posted about my practice routine and especially the way I'm actually playing on the practice pad, that is not basically playing only rudiments, but most of all is, for example, with the silent kit like this, silent. Is silent but not so silent. But having a configuration like this, honestly, even when I'm at home, gives me the chance to have fun even more than the single practice pad, but of course to test and try different kind of things in terms of groups, in terms of chops. And one of my recent experience was, for example, I had a flight in the afternoon a couple of days ago for a gig, and the band leader the night before, I was already sleeping, sent some new songs to play, very easy stuff. But for example, in the morning when I woke up and I saw all the messages, I said, okay, perfect. I have some songs that I have to figure out the grooves and all the things. And I came here to the pad, and basically, thanks also basically to the hi-hat things and the kick, I was able to figure the groove. So honestly, it's very cool. I really suggest all of you, if you are able to make a configuration like this, it's super helpful. I mean, not the maybe not the ride, not the crash, but even the hi-hat could be great. The kick, there are so many also cheap options that you can consider. But as I said, I'm not here talking about the configuration I have, but the approach that I have on the practice pad. There are so many questions that I got, and honestly, finding an answer is not easy because it's a very tricky topic. Because practice is very personal, and the practice pad is something very intimate. Sometimes when we play drums, we all do the same thing. I mean, in terms of schedule of practicing. So, for example, we start with a 35 minutes to 50 minutes warm up, maybe only on the snare, and start stretching around with some easy feels between combination between kick and toms and snare. Then maybe trying some patterns or some grooves, playing different styles. If you have a set list, if you have a song to improve, to learn from zero, start making a song and then practicing chops and the other different grooves. Maybe share, play with other musicians if you share the room with somebody else. The options are a lot, but pretty much the same options. Every time we are in practice, even if we have different kind of mindset, we all basically do almost the same things. There are different ways to do the same things, and this makes us very unique and special, I mean, but the schedule of the practice, the formula, pretty much is almost the same. On the practice pad, sometimes people have the tendency to see the practice pad only, okay, I have to play these rudiments or molar technique or different kind of stuff, so they stay there playing singles, doubles, paradiddles, minutes, long periods of time. And I heard a lot of people, even in classes or in general, different drummers talking with me, they say, after 1 week, I start getting very bored. What I can do to change the approach. And for the practice pad, I think that one key that helped me since when I was already at Berkeley, so I'm talking about even 10 years ago, playing the practice pad with some songs and some songs I mean in the background. And the concept behind is like play the drums on the pad. I don't play here, but that's exactly the example that I did also in the shorts if you miss it. Like, I want to play a simple groove. Feels. For me, this kind of approach is very healthy under many aspects. First of all, it is very healthy for my mind because I really want to play drums always. And sometimes, maybe because it's so traffic outside and it is not the best taking the car for some specific hours, especially where I'm based. It's very tricky getting the car, and my studio is a little bit far away now that I moved, and I cannot play the drums. So if I have to play the practice pad, I don't want to play just the rudiments. That's a thing that I do, but for 30-40 minutes. And all the other hours that usually you can spend at the practice room, what you can do. That's exactly my suggestion, is finding a voice even on the practice pad, because could be very genuine and could inspire even more than you think. Because sometimes on the practice pad the things sounds in a way that is very different, of course, to the drums or compared to other kind of practice pad. I really love practice pad. I have different options and selection here in my place, and there are different kind of surface and of course texture and rebound. So it's very cool also to explore that concept. But in general, the thing is trying to find the inspiration in something that is very, very easy. For example, for me, even playing with different sticks. I recently found in my, because I changed place, so I have still so many things to do. This room, actually, it will be my home studio, hopefully with an electronic drums to record even. But I have so many boxes here with some of my stuff from the older house, and I found the Victor Titan. I don't know if you guys remember, I completely forgot about this. Basically, talking about the size is basically the 5B, but is in carbon fiber or something like that. They are crazy heavy, and it is very cool, honestly. This with the marching band sticks or heavier sticks could be another strategy, even if you want to play only the rudiments, to basically get more of inspiration doing something different. That's my key. I want to try to do something different than the thing that I do always in practice room. Because if you start the routine, sometimes routines could be boring. At the same time, routine is not helpful for your ideas. If you want to make your ideas clear, always fresh, because you do always the same thing. So what I do usually, heavy sticks, different practice pad, no rebound, playing on the pillow, listening a lot of music, playing music, could be any kind of music you want, playing on the practice pad like exactly the drums, simulating the grooves and the feel. And even if you don't have the pedal and the practice pad pedal, that's that's the classic things that of course we do all the time, simulating the pedal like this, and it works. So because sometimes people is too scared to try new things, especially with approach like this, or people maybe in this moment where they live they cannot afford the drums, they cannot fit the drums or other kind of things, and they have at their disposal only the practice pad and the sticks. That's my biggest suggestion. So for all the people that ask it, what's the main things that I do when I'm at home and not playing acoustic drums, is playing the practice pad, in terms of practice, of course, in terms of study, because I'm very happy to say that actually I'm touring a lot and I'm playing a lot out of Italy mostly. So I have always my small pad with me. But when I'm at home, I feel bored, or when I want to practice and it's too far, different things, that's my best solution. If you wonder how this would sound, I can show you very quick, but as you can see, because I'm living in this apartment, I want to try to make less noise, but this is already loud. Now we are in the summer, so not so many people are here, so I'm safe. But in general, as you can see, this solution could be a little bit expensive because, for example, I recycle these old drums that I have. That's the Club Jam by Tama, and an amazing kit, by the way. But I have another small kit in my studio that I usually use for a smaller gig. So I don't like to sell drums because I really care about all of my drums. So I decided to turn this into the silent kit version, and yeah, it works, of course. But even just hi-hat and the practice pad and the kick could be an amazing solution. If not, only the practice pad, yes, is about the mentality, is about the approach, is about having fun, and it's about something that some people sometimes they don't think about that because, believe me or not, it's too easy to just play on the practice pad like a groove, like the real drum feel. But because maybe we are always restricted, me first, when I was younger, I was restricted only with the idea that the practice pad is useful only for stretching and exercises and rudiments. But no, we can do even more. The approach can evolve. Of course, this doesn't mean that you don't have to play long session of rudiments on your practice pad. Do that, I really suggest, of course. But this is another key that I'm pretty sure will come very helpful for